Okay, I didn't take it down. Didn't take it down. Didn't take it. Hold on. Let me remove that. Yo, it's your boy DT on my first episode of the final statement with DT. Sorry for the technical difficulties at the beginning. Forgot to take down my I'm doing everything. I'm producing. I'm controlling the board. I'm doing everything. That's all I do on here. So I want to tell you, there's a new series I'm doing starting now. Going for, I'm gonna try to do it every Sunday night at 6 p.m. Um, Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. Basically, what this show is, a week in review, is discussing hot topics, politics, current events, love, relationships, sports, music. I'm gonna dabble in everything because I deal with everything. I love everything, and as everybody know, if you watch me and if you know anything about me, I'm very opinionated. I like to give my viewpoints. I like to tell everybody how I feel. If you see my tweets, you see my Instagram posts, I tell everybody the truth and I keep it 100. That's why my show is called DT Unfiltered, Uncensored. And so, what I want to do today is, and I'm not going to do this on every show. So, anybody who tune in, anybody who watch this, anybody who sees this, don't think every show is going to be on politics. But that it touched dear to me right now. It's one of the main things that I'm very passionate about, especially the way the world is, the society, the country. It like we're going backward 100 years before I was born, before most of y'all who's watching this was before I'm born. And it's like it's time to actually have a conversation about this. And it's time for me to have a conversation about this. And that's one reason why I wanted to dive into this conversation, this topic. And I know it's one of them subjects you shouldn't talk about, which I understand. I know a lot of people don't talk about it. They don't want to discuss it. They don't want to mention it. They don't want to have that on table, that kitchen table talk with their friends. They don't want to take that chance of losing friendships, friendships ending. They don't want to do that because they feel like they talk about politics, it could ruin a friendship. And I understand. I respect how everybody feel about that. And I don't let okay, I don't let politics come between me and my friends to a certain extent. And before I jump into the hot topic that's current right now, that everybody's been talking about, that's been on everybody's mind, that's out there, crazy conversation. Before I jump into that, tell y'all a little bit about me growing up. I have always been a huge fan of politics. I watched it as a kid. I watched it on TV. I even remember, give y'all a little a little scroll down memory lane. As a kid in elementary school, I remember when they did an election for the president. It was during the presidential election. They let each one of us, we got to vote. All the students got to vote, which made me feel I was very excited about that, very entertained because it was like, I didn't know. I felt important. I felt like, oh, we get to pick a president, and this when George Bush was going against Bill Clinton. And I remember this just like it was like I was excited. I was like, oh, I get to go vote. I'm in elementary school and I get to get out and vote. That's how excited I was about that. So I remember going to the little computer because this way before a lot of people on time, some of y'all who follow me on Instagram, we had the Apple computers, which was green and white. It was a green screen and the right keyboard. And we had an option to pick two people, Bill Clinton or George Bush. Didn't know much about politics. I'm being honest, didn't hear my parents talk about it. But for something about watching Bill Clinton on TV gave me hope. And I voted for Bill. Now I'm gonna be honest, at the end of the day, we got to find out. They did on the intercom, they told everybody what the vote was. And if I'm not mistaken, I think 90% of the students in the school voted for Bill Clinton. Like 10% voted for George Bush. I don't know what those 10% was, but maybe their parents was Republicans. And I wasn't in a a rich area. I wasn't in a poor area either, but I wasn't in a rich area. But they might just pick George, but probably talk to parents at home. Parents like, oh, we voted for George Bush. But back in that day, back in that time, and not too many of us was really voting on that side of the fence. But I digress. So I remember that. And that's what got me into politics. It made me want to start watching and listening to and understanding and want to learn more about it. So as I got older, I continued to watch and I was excited. I couldn't wait till it was my time to get out there and vote. I really wanted to vote. I was so excited about getting my chance to vote. And when I actually turned the legal age to vote, I never missed a presidential election. Never once. Never missed uh, a governor's race. I I have missed a few like representatives, which yes, I think we should vote for them. I have missed them, but for the most part, I think I have ever since I've been legal to vote, I have voted at least 95% of the time. So probably 5% I have missed. And that probably more early on. So yeah, um, I was excited for Clinton. He won 2 times in a row. Then when George Bush came around, his George, the son came out and voted, George W. Bush. He ran against Al Gore. Reason I voted for Al Gore was because of Clinton, because I was a fan of the Clinton. I didn't have nothing against Bush per se, but I voted for Al Gore. Even though I'm be honest with you, I'm one of them. I thought he ran a bad campaign. I really did. I thought he ran a bad campaign. I wasn't too thrilled about some of the stuff he did, but because he was under the Clinton regime, I voted for him anyway. He lost. Bush won. I wasn't upset. Bush ran again against John Kerry. I think I was a little upset at how 9/11 occurred. That bothered me a lot because I still remember the day where I was at doing 9/11. And at that time, I would have, if 9/11 would have not happened, I possibly would have voted for Bush this second time around because I try to tell everybody I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, I'm an independent. I vote for what my viewpoints at. I have views on both sides of the aisle, which I'll talk about at a later time. I voted for John Kerry, which is not a good campaign run. Made some silly mistakes. Bush won again, which well deserved. I thought he was going to win again back to back. So here's when history made when we had that first black president to make it on the can make it on the as the Democratic Party. I was excited. I still got the newspaper when he won. I haven't opened it. It's still in the paper. It's still in the plastic seal. Was proud to see a black man get up there and run for the president of the United States of America. Was excited. Never thought the day I would see that because I know how this country is. I know how people are in this country. Never thought I'd see that day and voted for him. And when he won, it was like I remember that night. I was watching it and I was in awe. Like I sat there in front of the TV and I sat down and watched the whole thing. And I was like so thrilled. And I went and bought that newspaper the next day that was in a plastic. I never took out. I still got it in my shelf in my closet and never took out because I still remember that day. But I'm gonna tell you, I was paranoid at that when he was there for his at the when he was accepted, when he was change of parties when he was on that stage, and it was over like it was like over 50,000 people out there. I was nervous. I'm gonna be honest because I felt like I'm thinking like, oh God, I don't like him in that opening. It was too big. It was an open, and I said, "Oh, these people could be crazy. Come on, man. I don't like it." But he was safe. Nothing happened to him. But I was paranoid. The whole time watching it, I was paranoid and my heart was beating fast. But I'm glad because as a black man, becoming president was nothing you'll never see. It's only things you've seen in the movies. We seen it in the movie. We didn't see that in person. So the years went by. He ran again and voted for him. And he did 2 wonderful turns, in my opinion. Even though you got a lot of black people out here who complain about he didn't do enough for black people, I felt like, but y'all want him to come into the White House and say, "Hey, I'm doing nothing for black people. I'm doing this and doing that." That's not how it works. But you got some of us out here that don't think with this. The muscle, as Trump has said. So his term was up. Hillary decided to run. And out the blue, here comes this reality show guy. One thing I'm gonna tell y'all this, and a lot of friends I know a long time know this. I was a huge, and when I say huge, I was a huge fan of the Celebrity Apprentice. I was a huge fan of that show, and that when I was a fan of Trump, and I used to watch it 24/7. Like I never miss an episode. I have seen every episode of that, and I was a fan. That's before I knew the truth about him. Before I knew all of it, I didn't do the research. I didn't know much about New York. I didn't know about Central Park 5. So that at that stage, I was a fan. But then when he started trying to question Barack birth, right? And that got under my skin, but it didn't get under my skin to the point that I wanted to dislike him because I feel like it was so much out here that was said about Obama. That was something small. It wasn't as much. I seen worse. So when he ran against Hillary, I voted for Hillary. And the reason I voted for Hillary because of Bill, because I was a fan of Bill. But it was a crazy election, Trump did some wild things, crazy stuff, but it wasn't as radical and as extreme as now. So when he won, I wasn't upset. I wasn't upset one bit. Now he wins. I was okay, cool with it. I said maybe it'd be something different. He's a businessman, did not know how bad of a businessman he was. He was a businessman and he started doing some crazy stuff that I didn't agree with. Some weird stuff. And he started lying to the American people. He made it was getting to the point like, how's this man in the White House? Did y'all really vote him in there? Why? How is he in here? He's crazy. Why? How? So I started to do more and more research. And when he lost in his second run and he lost to Biden, I was already disappointed with the whole 4 years. It like everybody said the economy was better. The economy is better because of the prior leadership. Everybody, you don't. If a lot of people don't realize this, a lot of the policies from the prior term carry over to the next one. So if it helps the economy. A lot of people don't realize. A lot of people think it happens in that 4 year term, but most of the time it comes from the prior. So he had a lot of positive, a lot of things coming from Obama's years that carried on to his that helped the economy. So a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people think it's all Trump, which it wasn't. It was a lot of Obama policies that was put into place during his term that helped in his term. I was disgusted after he lost what happened January the 6th. At that stage, I like this cannot happen again. Wow. Like he's walking. I mean, I sit and watch the speech, even though he likes to twist it, and the people like to twist it. About, oh, y'all listen to social media. Social media got you. No, I don't go. Social media don't influence me on no stuff. I'm not easy influence. I learn on my own. That's how I do. I always been like that. Nothing. Social media doesn't do nothing to me. I look at it. I view it. I look for content on social media, but it doesn't influence my decision on voting for people. Um, Reality stars, musicians, famous people, they don't influence me. What influences me is what that person does, what that person says, what their history is about when I do research. That would influence me to vote for someone. So I don't go off what he say or she say or what somebody say or made a video or meme or something. I don't go off stuff like that. I use my brain. I look up, I listen to when they talk, I listen with my ears to what they say. That's how I make my decision on who I'm going to vote for. That's exactly how I make my decision. So when I give my viewpoint, it's not that, oh, I heard this from someone told me this. Now, if I see evidence, I'm going to talk about it. If it's visual evidence, not AI generated, but real evidence, I'm going to talk about it. And see, that's what a lot of people don't do. That's what a lot of people do. They hear, oh, they see clips. Like I was watching a focus group the other day. And the focus group, literally, dude said that he not voted. He said something about he seen something on social media about something with Kamala Harris and the border, and something that she opened the border and let everybody in. So that's the reason why he's voting for Trump. I'm like, are you kidding me? So you seen a meme on social media, that's what made you vote for. It's like sometimes people stuck on stupid. And that's the thing, that's the problem. A lot of us are stuck on stupid. We don't want to do our research. We don't want to dive into it. We don't want to listen to the person. We want to follow the rhetoric that we hear. We want to listen to all the angry and the mean and the craziness. That's what everybody want to listen to. That's the problem with this people in this world. They don't want to do their research. They just want to, oh, I'm going to vote for him because somebody told me she did this, or somebody told me, but you didn't listen. You didn't see that. You don't got proven evidence that this happened. You don't got none of that. What you got is hearsay. And you're hearing what everybody else saying. That's the problem. That's the problem with a lot of y'all. It's just you go off what people are saying, not doing your own research. So I'm gonna jump into something real quick because I don't want to go in too far in this. I just really want to talk more about like this presidential election. This is a very crucial election. Yes, I'm a huge supporter of Kamala Harris. I have been a fan of her since early 2000. I've been following her for a long time. I actually voted for her when she first ran for office, the Democratic seat back in 2020 when she tried to take the spot from when she was running for that spot, and she ran against Biden. I voted for her even though she dropped out, and I was happy that Biden picked up. So I was thrilled on that. So it was really important. I'm happy to actually see that we got her running. I don't care what anybody say. The policy of the policies, what she's going to do. Everybody want to stick on like my thing that bothers me. People keep saying, I need to get to know her better. I am so tired of hearing that damn shit. I don't need to know more about her. What more do you need to know? She done gave multiple speeches, and I keep hearing this as of last week. They want to know more about her. What more do you need to know about this lady? That's what I want to know. What more do you need to know about her? Because we know all about Trump, but y'all cool with that. Let's cool with that. And I want to play a couple videos that I pulled up that I really want to play. That he's just talking nonsense. And here we go. This one I want to play first.
And they're going to flee fast. And yet we have more energy under our feet than any other country. I call it. In addition, Kamala is shutting down power plants nationwide, causing electricity prices to soar more than 100%, going up 100%. They will soon be totally out of control. They already are, and businesses will flee. They're going to flee our country. If they can't get energy, they're going to flee our country, and they're going to flee fast. And yet we have more energy under our feet than any other country. I call it.
Now, you know how, first of all, Kamala Harris is shutting down power plants. So she don't have power to do that. First of all, she's the vice president. So, but she's shutting this down, and they running with this. Really? 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 Are we kidding? Are we seriously listening to this? This is the type of stuff that everybody wants to say. And this one video, I'm going to play this. This is a long one. I want to play this one because this is really, if I could pull it up, because I just love this video that she put out here. And is this the one? I hope this is this it? Hold on.
Isn't
this
a violent insurgency a threat to democracy?
And we fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Is saying your vice president should have been hanged a threat to democracy? Mark Meadows, according to an account provided to the House committee investigating January 6th, told the colleagues that Trump had said something to the effect of maybe Mr. Pence should have been hanged. Is saying the Biden family should have been arrested 2 weeks before the 2020 election a threat to democracy?
That Biden family and others, but that Biden family is corrupt. It's a corrupt family. And with me and my kids, let me tell you, my kids, I'll tell you something, though, and it's very, lock them up. You should lock them up. Lock up the Bidens.
Is calling the January 6 rioters patriots, hostages, promising to pardon them on day one a threat to democracy.
The moment we win, we will rapidly review the cases of every political prisoner unjustly victimized by the Harris regime, and I will sign their pardons on day one.
Is threatening to execute the Joint Chiefs of Staff a threat to democracy? Because that's what Trump suggested in a social media post when ranting about retired General Mark Milley. Is mocking the brutal beating of a political rival's spouse a threat to democracy?
Kamala Harris and the radical liberals force anarchy on the American people while they live in safety, in many cases behind walls. You know that? Nancy Pelosi has a big wall wrapped around her house. Of course, it didn't help too much with the problem she had, did it?
Is promising to be a dictator for a day a threat to democracy?
Under no circumstances, you are promising America tonight, you would never abuse power as retribution against anybody.
Except for day one.
Except
Look,
what?
he's going crazy. Except for day one.
Meaning?
I want to close the border and I want to drill. He says, you're not going to be a dictator, are you? I said, no, other than day one.
Is telling supporters if he wins the election, they will never have to vote again a threat to democracy?
You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians.
Is vowing to terminate the Constitution a threat to democracy? Trump did that in another social media post while rambling and lying about the 2020 election. Is refusing to admit he lost the last election and sowing doubt in the result of this election a threat to democracy?
Make no mistake, this election was stolen from you, from me, and from the country. There was never a second of any day that I didn't believe that that election was rigged. It was a rigged election. It was a rigged election, and it was a stolen, disgusting election. And this country should be ashamed. We got to stop the cheating. If we stop that cheating, if we don't let them cheat, I don't even have to campaign anymore. We're going to win by so much.
I'm wondering what you call that. And for those people that said, oh, nothing happened in his first term. Yeah, January 6th happened in his first term. The attempt to overthrow American democracy, to throw out a presidential election because he didn't like the outcome, happened. All those things Mika said happened in the first term.
This is all I want to leave on this. You all are seriously considering voting for that after you've seen all that, and people sit here and the election, it's a tight race. Oh, January 6th was enough for me. Overturn Roe versus Wade was enough for me. Men out here talking about they don't care about abortion. Are you kidding me? It's not affecting you. Yes, it affects your mother, it affects your daughter, it affects your cousin, it affects a friend of yours. It affects you. Y'all need to really consider thinking about who y'all want, because if y'all seriously sit here and says that this man is fit to be president, I seriously wonder about your mental state, because you seriously sit here and say all this man has done, people has died from that January the 6th, from the riots. But y'all, when they raid the Capitol, but y'all think he's still fit to be president. That's all I got to say. So I'm going to leave on that because I'm about to move on to this, but I'm going to take a quick commercial break. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Like I said, this is DT on the final segment with DT. First episode, first show. Looking forward to it. talking more topics. Give me a second. I'll be right back. I'm gonna have my special guest MJ. She gonna join me on the show, and we're gonna talk about this wonderful.
In 2016, Donald Trump said he would choose only the best people to work in his White House. Now those people have a warning for America. Trump is not fit to be president again. Here's his vice president.
Anyone who puts himself over the Constitution should never be president of the United States. It should come as no surprise that I will not be endorsing Donald Trump this year.
His defense secretary.
Do you think Trump can be trusted with the nation's secrets ever again?
No. I mean, it's just irresponsible action that places our service members at risk, places our nation's security at risk.
His national security advisor.
Donald Trump will cause a lot of damage. The only thing he cares about is Donald Trump.
And the nation's highest ranking military officer.
We don't take an oath to a king or a queen or to a tyrant or a dictator. And we don't take an oath to a wannabe dictator.
Take it from the people who knew him best. Donald Trump is a danger to our troops and our democracy. We can't let him lead our country again.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
White dudes. So, I think we're all pretty sick of hearing how much we suck. Every time you go online, it's the same story. We're the problem. And yeah, some white dudes are. Trump and all his MAGA buddies are out there making it worse, shouting nonsense in their stupid red hats and acting like they speak for us when they don't. All they've ever done is screw us over. But if you're not on the MAGA train, where do you go? Isn't it just swapping out one crappy option for another? Then it hit me. This isn't about picking teams. It's about who's got a plan that's gonna make life better for me and my family. So I've been doing my own research and decided to check out Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. And before you jump down my throat, they're actually talking to guys like us. No lectures, no BS. Just real solutions that protect our freedoms and help us take care of the people who matter. And honestly, I think Harris and Walz are the ones to make that happen. End of the day, you're your own man. It's your call. But if anyone gives you crap about it, tell them it's none of their damn business.
On the border, the choice is simple. Kamala Harris supports increasing the number of Border Patrol agents. Donald Trump blocked a bill to increase the number of Border Patrol agents. Kamala Harris supports investing in new technology to block fentanyl from entering the country. Donald Trump blocked funding for technology to block fentanyl from entering the country. Kamala Harris supports spending more money to stop human traffickers. Donald Trump blocked money to stop human traffickers. Kamala Harris prosecuted transnational gang members and got them sentenced to prison. Trump is trying to avoid being sentenced to prison. There's two choices in this election: the one who will fix our broken immigration system, and the one who's trying to stop her.
The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant.
Well, it's your boy DT back on the final statement with DT, and I'm joined by my special guest, friend, homegirl, known her so many years, over a decade. MJ, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. How are you doing today?
Good. What are we talking about?
Well, you know what we're talking about. You know, we just seen it. Boy, Diddy. Puffy, Diddy, Daddy, Father Love. What was his name? Brother Love. What was all the names he had?
He got too many. Sean.
Sean is
Sean Combs.
That's his Sean Combs. That's what we know him about. So, yes. I know a lot of people been following this. We know since March when everything just started tumbling down and he shut down his social media, and so much has happened. Allegations on drop, video on drop, with him and Cassie, which we all seen. that was disturbing. That was a very
That
disturbing
was
video
super
when I seen it.
disturbing. It
Yeah,
is.
I don't like to see when a man put his hand on a woman. I think that bothers the hell out of me. So it was a lot going on, and so we have been watching this for well, a lot of us known Diddy to be kind of like, I mean, we seen how he has been towards people, and we seen that the bits of allegations been dropped out, but nothing has been concrete until now, which they have been building the case. Before we jump into a little bit about what's going on, what was your take on it when you first heard about this back in March?
Well, when I heard about it and Cassie was really coming
MJ,
strong, can you hear me?
you're freezing.
I said when Cassie
Okay.
was originally talking about it and she was coming strong with the whole allegations, I wanted to see more. And I wanted to see more because of the simple fact is, allegations are one thing, but for it to be true is something different. Now, we all know Diddy to be a little bit of arrogant. We just always known him to be that way, even since he came into the industry. It was
Right.
always something special or weird about him. But actually, all these allegations that are coming out and that are being talked about is really weird because even when you go back and you listen to certain songs that people are talking about, they're talking about being at these Diddy parties.
Right.
So when you start tying those things into what's being told today, we were actually being told long time ago. We just was
Right.
bopping to the music because we thought it sounded good, but really wasn't paying attention to the lyrics.
Right. And that's correct.
So yeah. So it's like for me, when I started realizing and really listening and digging deep, I think a lot of this is way bigger than Diddy.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think it's I think it's way bigger than Diddy. I think that Diddy is the puppet. He's the puppet
Okay.
as of right now.
So you don't think he was the start of this?
I don't think he was. I think it's way beyond him. And I'm gonna say this, and this may ruffle some feathers, but in order for Diddy to get where he was today, he had to have some kind of backing.
Right.
So as we know it to be, and if people listened, I want to say Kanye West talked about it a year ago and was talking
Okay.
about the Jews and how the Jews were running everything. But you know what? We all looked at Kanye West like he was crazy. Kanye West was on
I was
top of
letting him
being a
crazy.
billionaire. Huh? No,
I
I'm saying
always look
like
at Kanye as crazy.
yeah, but if you think about what he was saying in his interview years ago, Kanye West was a billionaire. He got bumped
Right.
down. Diddy took his place. Why? Now that's just what they're showing on paper, but I still believe that Kanye is a millionaire. It's just not being shown in Forbes. But Diddy became a billionaire once they bumped Kanye West down. But it was only until they bumped Kanye
Okay.
West out that he became a billionaire. Then all of a sudden, all these allegations became about. It takes more than Diddy to run his whole ring of things. So let's be real.
Of course.
Clyde Davis, he's a big person.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, we'll say allegedly. Clyde Davis is in a whole lot
Yeah.
of mouths, but nothing is being said about him. I wonder why. Because Clyde Davis actually brought Diddy into the industry and groomed him, allegedly, if you want to say that. But
Allegedly.
so,
Yeah, they
yeah,
keep allegedly in there.
right. So, with that being stated, Clyde Davis allegedly groomed him into being the man that he is today.
Okay.
So, for me, it's like, come on. Yeah, I get it. Diddy probably had freak offs. I'll admit that. Diddy was probably doing all kind of crazy stuff, trying to, showboat. I will give him that. But I don't think one, he was by himself. Two, I can't say that, oh yeah, he's saying that he drugged these people. Truly believe that he offered it. I believe he offered it because let's take a step back. If you are a single parent and you struggling and somebody flash $1 million in your face, 9 times out of 10, most people are gonna go for what they want from this money, whether it's good or bad.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, I get all the allegations, but I also look at things from a different perspective too. Is that some of these people I believe that were willing to go for, they would sell their souls. Excuse me, they're gonna sell their souls for money.
That's true. And my take on, I want to say, like, and I agree with a lot of things you said. However, I think on one thing 50 brought up, and I remember him saying that what Diddy downfall is because he wanted to overtake the liquor industry and he wanted to
Mm-hmm.
fight them for it. And they said one thing about it is you don't battle the liquor industry. Now, as a black man, you don't go against them on that. And that's what Diddy
Yeah.
wanted more of. And they said, okay, so since you're going to do this, you're about to be the scapegoat. And basically everything fell on his lap. And Diddy can't say nothing because if he says something, the wrong thing could happen.
Mhm.
So he got to keep his
Exactly.
mouth shut.
Exactly. But do you really think he's gonna keep his mouth shut? Because what at this point, what does he got to lose?
I don't, he got a lot to lose. Not for him, but family wise. They could go after his family. And on the level we don't want them to go after. So because this is the way this world is. Right?
I get that. I get that. But what's gonna stop them from doing it anyway? Because you got to think, so many people's names are already tied up in it. So many people's names is already tied up in this. So what is going to stop them from going after his family?
I think it will if he keep his mouth closed. And I think that's where it came when he started recording. He got a lot of recordings. So I think he was covering himself. I think that's part of him
I think
covering
that
himself.
too. I think that too. I
But
totally
also, I
agree.
got to admit that I think he was enjoying some of this himself.
Now, come on now. You know he was. I think, you know what? But this is why I say it goes deeper because it has been allegedly taught that, he was abused too. So what does
Right.
abusers do? They abuse other people. That's just,
Right.
especially if they don't get any help. So my whole thing is this. He was already a victim himself. So he's only practicing what has been done to him for many, 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 many years. So I think he became greedy with it because he wanted to have that control, that fame, that power. And I think his greediness took over. But I also think, just like you think, he was up here trying to make sure that he kind of had his ducks in a row too, to a certain degree. But the only difference is that he's gonna be the fall guy.
Right. But I'm gonna say this
Somebody got
something
to be
nobody
it.
else has said. I'm gonna say something that nobody else has said, and I'm gonna say this first. I think a
What?
lot of people who was affiliated with Bad Boy Record, that was an artist or something like that, the people who more powerful than Diddy, that the puppet masters are feeding
Mhm.
them money to make sure they put it all on Diddy.
Of course. But that's
And
why I said
nobody brought that up yet. Nobody said nothing about
yeah,
that.
of
But
course.
I think they are feeding like, hey, do you want to they some kind of threat or promises? And they're like, Diddy did me wrong anyway. Yeah, I'ma say it.
Uh-huh.
I said,
Yeah, yeah. I totally 100% agree with everything that you're saying on that. But like I said, he got greedy too. And that's where he messed up. He messed up because he
right,
got greedy because he thought he can control. Sometimes people get a little power and they think they can just control everything. And they said, oh, hold on. Uh-uh. Cassie was only one. I mean, there's so many people who are coming out about him as of right now. It's hard to turn left or right or who, but everybody's going to talk. I think everybody is trying to get a piece of the pie to put him under, so it's not someone else other than Diddy
Right.
that's going to take the fall.
Yeah, and he gonna be the sacrificial lamb. I mean, it just
That's
happens,
it.
man. I don't think honestly, I was looking at all the charges because I was looking at so much he like racketeering, set trafficking,
Hmm.
physical abuse, controlled substance, corporate involvement, violence against employees, arson and kidnapping and use of firearm, bribery, forced labor. I mean, list after list.
It's
If
everything.
he ain't getting out of jail, I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
Kale's got
You
a
know
better chance of
what?
getting out of jail.
You think so? I don't know. I don't know. And I'm gonna
Kale's
say
got
this. It depends on if he gets to talking or not. If he truly gets to talking or not. But one thing that I always like to keep in mind, or that I try to tell people to keep in mind, is that the police, is the same thing as a gang. It's no different in the streets. It's all a gang. And guess what? They're all tied in together at the end of the day. They're all tied in together at the end of the day. So my thing
yeah,
is,
and
go ahead.
if he start talking, they can get him on the inside. It's not hard.
But that's why I say he's at a position right now where it's lose lose for him. What does he have to
Right.
truly lose? I mean, even if they go after his family, what they gonna do? They gonna kill his family? Well, guess what? They've been killing people's families for years, sacrificing them for years.
Right. So I just wish the best in this situation. I'm gonna ask you a question I told you earlier. So I've been talking to quite a few people about this whole
Hmm.
situation.
Hmm.
And they ever brought up the whole R. Kelly situation. And we're like, which one? Well, we know both of them are bad, extremely bad, but which one's worse? Which one you think is worse? Let me see what you think.
I would probably say Puffy's is worse.
Yeah,
And the
okay.
reason
It
why
been
I
it
would
been the
say
last five.
that,
Everybody been saying that.
yeah, I would probably say his is the worst, is because even though R. Kelly had victims that came about, P. Diddy has had way more victims that have spoken. It has been men and women, it has been young and old. R. Kelly had more of a type,
Right.
needless to say, and they were more of that young teenage girl type. You know what I'm saying? Or whatnot. But you got the beatings. I mean, they both it's just sad. It's a sad situation, to be honest. It's just a sad situation. But
Eh, Let me ask you a question on this. That I told everybody is the thing about it is we knew about Kale. Kale told us
in
everybody
his
we knew
own
about in the
stuff,
90s. We knew
yes.
about the videos. We knew about Aaliyah.
Hmm.
So we knew
Hmm.
it to us. It wasn't really like R. Kelly was hiding anything. It was just they never caught him, but he would never hide
Exactly.
anything. Diddy,
Mm-mm.
we never knew.
He tried to
We
hide
never
it.
knew. Like, yeah, and I think a lot of people who was at the party don't know about the videotapes. See, they didn't know
And
that.
that's what
But
crazy. Was that not crazy?
right,
That was super
that's extremely
crazy.
crazy.
Who is that? Was that Denzel? Was it Denzel Washington that said that he was
Hold
there
on.
at his parties? And he said, no, I'm sorry, not Denzel. It was Wayne Brothers. Wayne Brothers said he was at the parties. He said, when did it get started? At 12:30 or 2:31? He said, because I would leave at 2:30. So when did it get started? But I think that it was starting the whole time. I just think they had certain things going on in different areas to kind of separate what was going on behind the scenes and what when people were there to be at the parties. So I think it was still going on the whole time. They just wasn't to the party. And part of that is, guess what? Everybody was invited to the party. Everybody was invited to Diddy's
Right.
parties. If you were kind of famous, you were invited. So it's not about you not being able to be there. I just think it was separated because if you notice when a lot of people talk, they say, "Oh yeah, I felt a little drowsy, or I felt like maybe I got um I was on some type of drug and I was in a room. I was in a room. You never heard them saying that, oh, yeah, I was in this whole big old area and everybody was there and everybody was watching. It was never that. So you know that they had separate places in this home to handle all these freak offs or whatever was going on.
Yeah. I wonder was Jennifer Lopez involved in any freak off.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you hear about Ben Affleck? Well, it's allegedly said that Ben Affleck is divorcing Jennifer Lopez because some of these tapes have came off with her being in these freak offs. So,
Interesting. Well, I knew they was having trouble already for the last year, which she have trouble
yeah.
every marriage she in, but go ahead. That's a whole
That's a
nother show
whole
right there.
nother topic. I know, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, so it was being stated that that allegedly is what's being talked about now. Now, can I see that to be true? Absolutely. I think when Jennifer realized that the murders or whatever the shootings were coming in, that's when Jennifer Lopez said, "Hold on there, let me try to exit out of this." You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
and to get away from it because she realized it was going too deep. But of course, I don't believe like this just happened over the course of a 10-year span. Oh no. To
Yeah.
arrange all these things and to do it, this has been going on way before a 10-year span. But allegedly, that's
Yes,
what's
it
being
has
said
been
now.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, it allegedly. It just this is strange, and like I said, a lot of people out here got a lot to say defending Diddy and other people blasting him. I mean, I ain't got no fight in the game. So I mean, I just honestly, I'm just like, dude, you dug your grave. Now I was, and the fun thing is, I was a huge fan of Puffy growing up. I liked it because I liked his business sense, which
Yeah.
now I don't know if I like it as much, but I kind of it cold. I like this business and slowly it got to the point. There's certain things about Puffy I didn't like. I still respect this game, but I didn't like about him. And then I started liking 50. And I love what 50 does now. So 50, like who I look up to. I want to get to a level like on what 50 do, like the movies and everything, because you know that's something I love doing. But I just feel like it's the end of the road for Puffy. I don't see him getting out of this. Honestly, I don't see nothing come out of positive about this. I don't see. I don't see nothing positive happening. He getting off. I don't see him getting off on no charge because and they don't come to you with anything. They got a 99% success rate,
Mm-hmm.
99.9%. Yeah.
Yep.
So if they come with all this evidence, you're not getting off on this. That attorney just collect the money. Puffy attorney just collect some good money. That's all he doing. But he's
Yeah.
probably sitting at home telling his wife, like, yeah, he ain't getting off on this baby.
Well, you got to think about it like this too, from a different perspective. Is that it may be better than the death penalty.
It may
So if
what?
he can, it may beat better than the death penalty. So
Right.
versus him, he could just get 100 years in prison versus a death penalty. But you know, even with
That is
Puffy
the death
and
penalty right there.
well, yeah, I mean for human, it's because he's not gonna
Yeah.
live to be 100, but it's just slowly procrastinating with it, pretty much. But even have you seen even the Kim Porter book? I don't know if you kind of got into a little bit of
No,
that.
I remember you said something about it, but no, I haven't read it.
Yeah, even with her, some of the same thing, allegedly, if it's true or not, it's speaking on everything that everybody has pretty much stated. And when Kim was gonna come out with this book, allegedly, they had to do away with her because she was going to spill everything. She was going to talk about all these freak offs because guess what? She was involved in some of those things too. So allegedly, she was going to talk about all these things that were going off: the beatings, the drugs, the messing with little boys, the whole 9 yards. So therefore, it makes you think that if she was going to talk about this many, many years ago, how long has it really been going on? But the
Right.
thing that has me about all of it is, yes, I understand that Puffy did these things. Yes, I understand that he's guilty of a lot. But where is it stemming from? Because
Right.
Puffy ain't it. I'm just gonna tell Puffy ain't it. These things have been going on way before Puffy, and they will continue until someone gets a hold of this entertainment industry, if that's possible.
It's never gonna end. It's never gonna end.
That's my whole point.
It been going on since the 50s, and
That's
40s,
it.
back before we even born. So yeah, it's never gonna end.
It's never
It's never
gonna
gonna
end. So it's like we're putting all this focus on Puffy, but it's way above him and way gonna continue. Even when he's gone, he's just gonna be another chapter in a book. And that's just what it is. Like
Right.
R. Kelly. There's just gonna be another chapter in the book.
Well, hey, too much we could do on that, but hey, MJ, I appreciate you joining me on this segment on this. I want to give you the final word. What's the final thing you want to say about anybody who dealing with any kind of situation like that? What would you tell them? Any women in this position that dealt with something like that?
Stay true to yourself, because I think that's a lot of times is what women do is they're not true to themselves and who they want to be. They want to be somebody else other than who they are. And go after what you want. You don't have to sell your soul to get what you want. It is definitely possible for you to get what you want but not sell your soul.
Hey, words from the wise. So I appreciate you joining me on this, MJ. I'm glad that I can't wait till your show start and I'll be a guest on there, and can't wait to have you back for more conversation, because this is something, like I said, I did my first episode, so I'm working out the bugs, the kinks and stuff like that. But I think it'll be good. I think I'm gonna enjoy doing this every Sunday.
I think you are too. I look forward to it.
I appreciate you, and I will talk soon.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Janet Jackson, live in Las Vegas. Janet Jackson, performing all her #1 hits. Live at Resorts World Theater, Las Vegas, opening December 30th through February 15th. Get tickets now at access.com. Janet Jackson, Las Vegas. Produced by AEG Presents. For more, visit janetjackson.com.
In 2016, Donald Trump said he would choose only the best people to work in his White House. Now those people have a warning for America. Trump is not fit to be president again. Here's his vice president.
Anyone who puts themselves over the Constitution should never be president of the United States. It should come as no surprise that I will not be endorsing Donald Trump this year.
His defense secretary.
Do you think Trump can be trusted with the nation's secrets ever again?
No. I mean, it's just irresponsible action that places our service members at risk, places our nation's security at risk.
His national security advisor.
Donald Trump will cause a lot of damage. The only thing he cares about is Donald Trump.
And the nation's highest ranking military officer.
We don't take an oath to a king or a queen or to a tyrant or a dictator. And we don't take an oath to a wannabe dictator.
Take it from the people who knew him best. Donald Trump is a danger to our troops and our democracy. We can't let him lead our country again.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
And welcome back. This is your boy DT on the final statement with DT. And I appreciate everybody who tuned in to see my show today. It was awesome. I really enjoyed it. Talked a little bit. I didn't get to go in deep details on the presidential election, but my final statement for the show today is, because every show I'm gonna give a final statement last 5 minutes of the show, give my viewpoint on something that's very important to me. And my main thing I want to talk about is when I see a lot of Black African American men out here saying that they won't vote for Kamala Harris, but they go vote for Trump. But they can't tell me nothing, the reason why they want to vote for him. And it disappoints me, because a society of the Black community, we supposed to sit together. And I'm not saying you vote for someone just because of the color of their skin, but after all of the heartache, the racist comment, the attacks he has did on African Americans, Asians, Hispanics, Haitians, the bigotry, disgusting. And it bothers me that my people I see on social media constantly defending him, even when he makes a remark. Black men defending him, black women defending him. It disgusts me. What? You can't never, and then when I say something, when I reply to them, they can never give me a reason why. But the main thing I hear a lot is because they got that stimulus check, which did not come from Donald Trump, came from the Congress. He put his name on it, and y'all jumped for it. That money wasn't even that much. Y'all not getting another check. It's embarrassing. It's disappointing for y'all to go against a black woman like this. If all the people keep saying, the ones run with the story like, oh, she's not black. She don't know she want to be. When did she? Come on. Look at her history. Look at everything she did. Look what school she went to. Look what sorority she's part of. But she's not black. Y'all are disgusting. Disgusting. And I tell everybody, I told them all, I don't argue with you all because it's stupid. You can't teach stupid because y'all all born stupid. Y'all want to go against her. Y'all have no reason why y'all dislike her. Y'all just want to, y'all so used to the white man telling you what to do, which a lot of y'all are, that y'all want to keep going. We all want to work with the white man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't get mad when black people voted for when black people voted for John McCain. I didn't get mad at all. That's your prerogative. Because John McCain didn't do no stupid stuff. He didn't say racist comments. He even stood up when somebody said something racist about Barack Obama at one of his town halls, and he said, no, we're not going to do that. He's about democracy. He's about American people. So is Kamala Harris. Trump is about dividing this country. He's not supporting you black people. He's not supporting you Hispanics. None of you immigrants. He don't even like none of y'all. He wants to send everybody. J.D. Vance done came out and said it, which J.D. Vance is an awesome person for him to be teamed up with because they both idiots. They telling you, like Maya Angelou said, was it Cicely Tyson or Maya Angelou? It was one of them said, when a person show you who they are, believe him. And he's showing you who he is. He's showing you who he is as a person. Listen to the words that coming out his mouth. That's the thing. Listen to the words. Because the thing about it, a lot of y'all not listening to what's coming out his mouth. Y'all not hearing it. And that's my final statement. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you, MJ, for joining me on my show today. Y'all keep tuning in. This is my first show. Got to get out the buzz. I'm going to get used to this. I got to get good with my transitions and everything. But other than that, I think it was a great show. I really appreciate everybody joining on my first episode of The Final Segment with DT. Remember, it's every Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. Real quick, I normally supposed to keep an hour, but I want to drop this last video. Next weekend, I got season 2 of my show dropping. It's called Beyond the Trophy Side of the Mindless Athlete. And this is one of the first shows is the Jonas Brothers. Hilarious brothers. Enjoyed their interview. It's an hour-long special. Definitely tune in. And I want to give y'all a little clip. This is one of the videos that I found extremely funny. And I'll be right back to sign off the show. So just check this out, and I'll be right back. You play 2K, who you play with?
I play with either Warriors or Suns.
Okay, let's start with the Warriors real quick. I'm going to get the unit say. When you play with the Warriors and your team shooting 70 shots the whole game, how many steps shooting?
I don't pass the ball. Like when we
Clay don't get no shots?
No. Yeah.
What about Draymond?
No. He don't get the ball.
What if Draymond wide open?
Nah, Steph Curry make him set a screen. He'll make him set a screen. Like when we playing after the game, that we'll have it'll be like 120. Let's say I win, it'll be 120, 121. And we look at the box score. Steph Curry has 110 points. And then Clay has 2 points. And then Draymond has 0. And and then they're big as all the rest of them.
Okay, I'm gonna come to you in a second. Okay, he said Phoenix Suns, your second team, right? How many KD shooting out of 70?
0. Devin Booker all game.
Dip. So KD's not even shooting. One of the best shooters.
I mean, he's just gonna do some little dunks. I mean, little posters.
Hold on, Pierce. So yeah, make sure y'all tune in next Sunday night on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, X. That show is dropping. It's one of my, like I said, I enjoyed that show very much. Got to sit down with those young men. That was hilarious. I promise. I died laughing that whole show, and I really enjoyed getting to know those young men very much. It was a fun show. I gotta admit, they had me laughing, like legitimately laughing. But like I said, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Next time the show will be just an hour long. I just go a little bit over because I just want to drop that clip. Make sure y'all tune in next Sunday, 6 p.m., 5 p.m. Central. I will have a new episode of The Final Statement with DT. And I'll see you then.
It's DT. You have just now listened to the most talked about podcast in the country. DT, Unfiltered, Uncensored. Thank you for tuning in and see you next time. Damn. DT.